guess what drew you to him?
Length, South Australian boy, that was really important for me. His ability to shoot a very high clip. He reminded me of Simon Dwight when he squares up and shoots, and I coached Simon for a couple of years and he was very impressive. I think his intellect, he's got a high IQ and he wants to come through and he wants to be a club person. So you can look at the basketball side and then you've got the character side, and he ticked a lot of boxes there. He's still very raw and developing in basketball, but he's going to be a long-term Adelaide 36er, and that's what I like, really about him.
Is that why you offered him a 3-year contract?
Yeah, absolutely, yep. As much as a project, it's about investing in, and you don't have too many guys at 6'11" that can shoot threes, and you want to lock that up, and we'll be able to then get him playing the style of basketball that we want. But yeah, he's going to be a really good long-term prospect for us.
How impressed were you with his college highlights?
Very. I watched a game where he played North Carolina, and I watched 6-7 minutes and said, okay, I've seen enough of that. When you're playing someone like North Carolina, who have got the best athletes, Dukes and things like that, they've got the best athletes around, and you see him compete and what he can do, and still understanding, okay, he's got this development, but I can see where he can go. And I said, no, I've seen enough. Let's go do this.
How keen are you to see him develop under Isaac and with Isaac?
Oh, look, Isaac to me is the best 5 in the league, and knowing other coaches as well, they love him. And I think he's going to be able to learn not only the game, but just how to prepare yourself and go about that. Isaac's at that age now where he's at that full professional, he knows what to do. So it's going to be a great mentorship for Ben to be in. And then they've got different sort of games as well, so they're going to be able to learn off each other that way. But I think he's going to be a really good mentor, and Isaac's an incredible human being, and I think, it's going to be a great time for Ben.
You've locked in a few good players now. How far do you think this team can go this year?
Yeah, well, I think, it's a very tight league. 10 teams and almost all 10 can win it. So I think what it is, it's about where do you want to step from? We obviously had a really good closeout to last season. Scotty did a great job. And how do we build? And trying to go from, say, the basement to the penthouse in 1 year is very hard. And what I've said to the ownership here is, how do you build consistency? So what you want to be able to do is say, how do we become a top 4 team each year? What are we going to do that? And that starts with your behaviours and your values and what you do each day, okay? Because everyone wants to win it. Everyone goes, oh, I want to get there and I want to win it. But it's what you're going to do today and what you're going to do tomorrow. The style that we're going to play, we're going to have a South Australian style of basketball. Scotty's big on that. You're going to be proud about how we play. You're not going to come in Adelaide and have it easy. We're definitely going to get after it. And even through our foreign import spots, we're looking at guys that are going to, really defend the city.
Can you give us a couple of those names?
Look, probably not names at the moment, but look, we're looking at players, that have played here before. Guys that are, have 5, 6, 7 years NBA experience. It's a real process. On my whiteboard, there's about 80 names, and there's a lot of deep diving into that. What I will tell you is, we're going to invest into getting the right people. I believe in getting, a good player, is going to cost. But we're going to invest to ensure that we can supplement and give the support to the Australian content that we already have.
Did you hear that the AFL clubs were coming for him, and how nervous were you if they were trying to lock him up?
Yeah, I did hear, and that made me go, oh, this isn't good, because we know their budgets, and especially someone of Ben's size, they don't come around too often. So that was where we said, okay, we sort of already had a pathway of where we'd like to see Ben, and we said, okay, we might just have to move this, 12 months earlier to secure that, and I was happy to do that. And so, we were very open in those conversations with both Ben and his agent, Michael. They were really, really good to work with. It wasn't like they were putting us to the sword. They said, look, this is what we've got. We're being transparent. And, I could imagine them throwing a fair bit of money. And so I had to put the pitch on, how good basketball is. And someone like Ben also in the future is going to be able to go and play, in off seasons in Europe and Puerto Rico and Japan's and go and earn, some very good money as well. So, basketball's a global sport.
Was it a relief when he signed on the dotted line?
Yes, everyone is, again, at that age, at that height, that age, and with the ceiling that we have, it was, a big relief. to have that done, and also a South Australian kid. I had breakfast with Ben when he came back for the family wedding, and was really impressed with both his parents and Ben. Just the way they spoke, how they handled themselves. You know, I've been through a lot of those situations, some good, some not so. But I knew this is our guy because of he's a South Australian, and so I knew he was going to be someone we wanted to get to.
Is that why you offered 3 years, just because you had to go a bit earlier and you decided to extend it a little bit longer?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I want to secure the asset and know, all right, this is our runway. What does that look like? How are we going to be able to tick this off? Because anyone that I get, I have plans in place for where I want them to be every 12 months and what we're looking at. The way I'm building the team is to have, these are the guys that we're going to lean on. These are the guys that are going to support them. And here's our development guys that will one day become those next role players into the stars. And you've got to have a production line to building an organisation.
So
Yeah.
where are you at with your team build at the moment?
Yeah.
Give yourself a mark out of 10, given how the proximity to the season and so forth.
Yeah, proximity to the season, I think we're in a really good position, and that was even before I came in, Case, because we had DJ and Isaac, who are arguably the best players in the league for their position. So that helped, right? Then it gets a bit tricky when you're trying to implement a few role players. Lat Mayen was a really big one for me, and because he gives me so many sort of opportunities and different looks. And so to get him was a really, really good one. I'm really happy with where we're at. And now we're able to then go, what are we going to do around the import spots? How do we bring those in? And what we're looking for character-wise. So I would say we're a 9.5 out of 10.
So how soon can we see those import spots for you?
Look, I think with one of the spots I'm relatively close, maybe another week or so away. Yeah. The point guard spot's going to be a bit harder. There's a couple of guys I'm looking at, but, you know, they look like they might go to camp with the NBA. Which isn't great because that goes right too close to my season. So, but there's a lot of people out there, but again, it's finding the right one. And that takes, you know, a lot of time to get through. So that one now I wouldn't put a timeline to. That's still a lot of late night calls and homework.
Is there any interest in bringing back former 36 of Brockmo?
Look, I'd spoken to his management and a couple of times now. And he's got a pretty good opportunity in Japan, still with another year to go. And we sort of both agreed that maybe it was best that he did that because of what he was able to earn was going to really surpass anything we were going to be able to do. But they did flag it and sort of said he does have interest, but this is where it needed to be financially and what have you. And so probably, yeah, it would have taken away, you know, an import spot. So, you know, we decided, hey, let's just let that sit. Yeah.
Watch any Crows games with Ben?
Yeah, I might go watch it now and rub it in a bit. I'm a Crows guy, so yeah, we'll go along politely.